and welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video I will be sharing with you guys how I won first prize at my first ever poster oral presentation conference. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Heen and I am a third year medical student here at the University of Edinburgh, and just a couple months ago I attended my first ever oral poster presentation conference and somehow I won first prize. So since that's like a really big achievement for me, I thought I'd share my journey and how I got to achieve that prize. Now, for those of you who are perhaps a bit new to the world of research, when you come to the end of a research project, there's more or less two options for how you can get that project out to the community. The first option is to publish a paper or an abstract into a journal, and the second option is to present your project through a poster at a conference. Now, this conference could be regional, it could be national, or even international, and this is just up to you to search about and see which kind of suits your project the most. Now, for me, this project was all about trying to expand my skill set and trying to network with people in the community, and getting the emphasis of my project out to clinicians. So I'll get on to the details of what this project was and how it managed to win first place, because with my inexperience I didn't think that this would be possible, but it has been. So I hope I can share some of those techniques and some advice and guidance, so that if you're on the road to your first project and you think, oh, this is not going to make it anywhere, then I'm going to assure you that it can, and it's definitely possible. So for Edinburgh University, we have a lot of research opportunities, specifically something called a student selected component. This is a group research project. You get one of these to do in year 1, then another one in year 2, and another one in year 5. I'm not too sure about year 4 and 6, and year 3 is obviously intercalation. But the point is that for a lot of medical schools, you will have lots of opportunities to get involved in research, and from those projects you can take them further beyond the university. That's like my first tip. So if you've done a piece of work at uni that you like and you think has potential, don't be afraid to take it beyond just the university deadlines. So let me tell you about what my year 2 SSC project was. So there was actually a lot of options to choose from. My first choice was to do with AI in medicine, because I thought that was really current. Unfortunately, I didn't get my first choice. So this is how fate leads you away. Little did I know that my second choice would be a lot luckier for me. So this second choice, the statement that we were given was treating patients in the bedroom, not the bedside. Now that's a really vague statement, and when we came together and we were brainstorming ideas, we were thinking about the COVID-19 pandemic, we were thinking about telemedicine, we were thinking about medicine of the elderly, complex conditions. So lots of brainstorming going on, and we were discussing this with our supervisors, who were geriatricians, so working with medicine of the elderly. So that was really the focus, and it wasn't really a specialty that I was very interested in. Initially I found it a little bit boring in the beginning, but actually when we really started to think about, okay, so what is a problem that we could try to solve here? And this is another key point, right? When you're trying to come up with a research question or a research project, you need to think of a current problem, something that you can really contribute something to. And nowadays in the UK, there's a big problem with the NHS bed crisis, especially in Scotland. So when we thought about all of this, we thought about trying to target that problem, and it came about that we decided to look into hospital at home services. So obviously this video is not a presentation of my project, but to give you a very brief outline of what the project was. So Hospital at Home is a service that tries to manage patients at home rather than them having to go into hospital and being admitted and taking up a bed. And for a lot of these patients, people like heart failure patients who just need a little bit of monitoring, or they need a bit of balancing with their diuretics, things like that. It can be done at home, it can be managed at home, and it doesn't need a hospital admission. Obviously for the more severe cases like strokes and MIs and things, they can't be managed at home. they need the hospital beds. But this is a service that aims to, discharge patients quicker from the hospital. It includes a lot of primary care and social care services who tie in together to try and manage people within their own homes. And actually the patients love it a lot more because they can stay at home. Everyone hates the hospital environment. They can have family around, and it's just a better healing environment and a great solution as well, especially for the NHS. So that was really the project that came about, and it's a current issue. It's a problem that needs to be solved right now. So we did some interviews with some patients and some staff, and at the end we submitted our project. It was like a dissertation type thing and a literature review, and we did a whole presentation on it and everything. So all of that stuff at university, all done and dusted. But what happened beyond that? Now, it is important to realise that, no one is obliged to work on this research project beyond the university, right? Because some of you will be interested in research, others are not, and that's completely fine. So for the few of us who were interested in taking this project further, we had a meeting with our supervisors. Now, on the topic of supervisors, I can't stress this enough, but supervisors are so key in getting projects out there to the community. Now, for us, we were really lucky because the university was already in touch with those supervisors for the university project, but actually they were really passionate about this project beyond this as well, and they believed that it had scope. So if you're starting up an individual project, then and you're looking for a supervisor, then look for people who have a track record of working with students and getting projects published. If you're gonna email someone who's already really busy and doesn't really have time to work with students, then probably not much point, right? Because I'm only in year 3, I don't have much experience with research. So you always need that bit of guidance, whether it's kind of reading drafts or trying to help you find the right conference for you. I'll talk more about this as well later. But anyways, our supervisors were fantastic. They were so on board with our ideas, and they began to help us get this project out there. Now, if I'm completely honest, I wasn't really aware of the best journal or the best organization to get our information to. So this is where the supervisors really came in handy, because they were working in geriatrics. They knew the field well. So they said, okay, well, British Geriatrics Society, this is the main society in the UK that deals with medicine of the elderly, publications and conferences. They're having a conference that's coming up, and it's called Geriatrics for Juniors. I'll actually put some helpful links down in the description as well, so that you guys can have a look exactly what I'm on about. But the point is, try to find a conference or a journal that is well suited to your project. So for us, we're trying to get it out to the geriatric clinicians, and for us that was the best one. If we tried to publish into the Journal of Surgery, that's not exactly gonna work, is it? So be really tactful with where you are trying to get your information out to. And because I'm not a geriatrician, I didn't know which would be the best platform, and that's where the supervisors are great, because they know where that data could be accepted and where that data is needed actually. So we went for trying to apply to this conference. So for any popular competitive conference, there's always a bit of a protocol to try and get accepted into actually presenting. So you have to submit an abstract. An abstract is basically a summary of your project. So our supervisor was really he was just brilliant in helping us with that. So we wrote up a draft of it, and he helped us to move things around and was like, okay, we should remove this because this would be better here, and so on. And he was very in touch with us. And so we got this abstract through to the BGS, and the BGS actually approved it, and they were very happy for us to submit a poster for presenting. So, this was an achievement in itself to get accepted into a national conference. National and international conferences, they fall into one bracket and then regional into another. So, we were already ticking the box in terms of thinking about application requirements and things like that. So that was great that we were already gaining points. The second thing was that this conference was going to be in Newcastle in person. However, it was moved to being a virtual conference. Now, this does not matter so so please do apply to these conferences even if they're virtual. Obviously I would have loved the experience of actually, you know, presenting in person, but it was fine. We all just had to kind of submit our poster and then a video of us presenting the poster, and then on their platform people were able to communicate with us and ask questions, and we could do the same for other authors. So it actually turned out fine in the end. But yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what I think makes a good poster. Now, aside from the project, I love posters, right? You might have seen on the channel already that I make a lot of like summary posters for studying medicine on Samsung Notes and on my tablet and things. So I was pretty experienced in creating something visual, and I love my YouTube stuff because it's this kind of creative visual aspect, and I'm a visual learner. So I was already really looking forward to making this poster, and one of the big things that I felt other posters were lacking from, you know, any other conferences I've been to as well, is this idea of it being eye-catching. The whole point of a poster is, you know, if it's up on a wall and you walk past, it catches your eye, you want to read it, and it's easy to follow and it's easily structured. You know, it's not a published paper that's done in Times New Roman font at 12 font size. You know, it's not like that. It's very different, and a lot of the time when I see posters, it's just a lot of text on the posters. There's a lack of visuals, and I think that's what some of the posters lacked, even though the actual projects were really meaningful. So our project was obviously very current. It addressed a current problem, so we were already ticking the box there. So when I started to make the poster, I used Canva to make the poster, and that's what I used to make my YouTube thumbnails as well, actually. But I think that Canva is brilliant for creating graphical, infographic type posters and visuals like that. So I actually use things like Microsoft's PowerPoint very less nowadays. I mostly use Canva for this sort of. So throughout the day, the conference was like a whole day event. There was some really amazing speakers, and we got a lot of insight into, you know, the problems within the geriatric field. So it gave me an opportunity to network, to ask questions, and really think for myself a bit about you know, the importance of geriatric medicine. It's something that is quite underrated in my opinion, because with an aging population in a lot of Western countries, you know, geriatric medicine is everywhere. So whether you're a cardiologist or you're a rheumatologist or whatever you are encountering medicine of the elderly everywhere. So this was like a nice project that was kind of addressing a lot of specialties, not just medicine of the elderly. So yeah, I think I really enjoyed attending the actual conference as well. And obviously when the winners were announced, that was an amazing moment for me because I was not expecting it at all. You know, we were probably the only medical students there, so you know, that was a big achievement for us. Everyone else was like either FY doctors or specialty doctors who had done like proper like audits or like proper clinical research projects, and here was us with our little qualitative study. But it really goes to show that it's not about the quantity of your project, it's about the quality of your project. And even if it's something really small but it's addressing a niche problem, like that's fine, that's good. If you can make it a good quality, robust project and present it in a way that's easy for people to follow, then, you know, you can win. But honestly, you know, if we just take a step back from the whole winning and losing thing, you know, no one was a loser at that conference, okay? Everybody there had really good projects, and everybody there was there with this common goal of helping improve healthcare. And that's what we were doing there as well. And so we didn't really go in with our aim like we want to win at this conference. And I definitely, you know, if you had asked me beforehand, I did not think we were going to win. So yeah, obviously the winning was really nice, but you know, better than that, we were getting our message across. And actually the BGS liked it so much that they got us to do they got us to go to another conference to present our project and our journey to, you know, help other medical students get involved in research and do projects that were similar. So quality improvement in medicine, and you know, the changing medicine environment, and it's constantly growing, is is the medicine in this era, right? So medicine is not about academics and textbooks only now. There's so much more to it happening, and it's really important for medical students like myself and maybe yourself as well to get involved with projects, and from a really early stage, to get that network going and to get those skills and those experiences that are going to help you set up those big clinical trials later down the line. Alright everybody, well that is going to be the end of this video. I hope that this has been insightful and you have learned something new from this video. If you have any video suggestions for me, then please do comment them down below, or you can always DM the HSTV Instagram as well at HSTV Official. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.